Hey guys, how you guys doing today? Hopefully good. Today we have another episode of What Up Wednesday for you guys. I'm Louis Lope, and today I'm with Dave, the new owner of the 1910 Oceanside Bar. So yeah, thanks for being on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, all right. So for the people that don't really know you, would you mind giving us like a quick little background or summary of who Dave is?
I'm just a guy who moved here in 2005. We love Oceanside. We brought our businesses here. We've done great ever since. My wife Amber and I have been very community oriented. Obviously, it's a lot easier to do when you're empty nesters now. So we've managed to get quite involved with the community. We are now on the board of the Oceanside Cultural Arts Foundation. We are members of the Oceanside Charitable Foundation. We are members of the Oceanside Museum of Art. We sponsor the Oceanside MLK Junior Scholarship Fund for the last couple of years. We sponsor the North County LGBTQ Resource Center. And we like to be community-based in that fashion.
Yeah, that's good, man, because a lot of people aren't really that connected in the way you are with the community. You know, so community-wise, what would you say is your biggest achievement?
Well, our biggest achievement, my wife and I have spent the last 2 to 3 years changing cannabis law in the city of Oceanside. We spent most of 2015 and 16 just attending the Oceanside city council meetings. And every council meeting, every 2 weeks, you get 3 minutes on off agenda to say anything you want. So Amber would get up there and do what we called the cannabis education tour. And with that, she would get up and spend 3 minutes basically educating about cannabis, obviously. But we took them all the way back to the 1930s when cannabis was still a medicine and sold in bottles. All the way up to the mid-30s, and Anslinger and DuPont and Hearst, and we have Reefer Madness at that point, and then we took them all the way to the 70s and Nixon and the war on drugs, the failed war on drugs to boot, and all the way to Prop 215 in 1996 and so on and so forth. But it's really what it was about was education. Got to get the word out. We've lobbied the city council and every other authority we could possibly get a hold of in hopes of changing cannabis law and bringing medical marijuana and safe access to the city. We have managed to get some regulations in place now. We're not quite happy with the current status. We still, unfortunately, don't actually have safe access to our patient base. So we do have now a voter initiative back out on the play field, and we're hoping to make it to a 2020 ballot where we will campaign for our yes vote, and that'll open up a lot more zoning and allow the industry to come in here. It will tax cannabis so that the city will benefit appropriately, and it won't be so stifled as it is now.
Wow, that's cool, man. So how do you think cannabis got the bad rep that it has?
Again, 1930s. This is we're talking 80 years of government brainwashing here. I mean, when the government allowed Anslinger, who at the time was the head of prohibition, alcohol prohibition, and alcohol prohibition was being lifted at the time. So Anslinger was basically out of a job. And well, he needed something else to villainize, and he was basically let out of the cage and allowed to villainize cannabis, which he's already been quoted previously as stating that cannabis was fine and nobody cared and it was okay, and then all of a sudden it became illegal and he villainized it, and this is where we had Reefer Madness, because he got a hold of Hollywood and he was able to start controlling the movies that were coming out. And again, that's really what it was. And from there, it just continued again into the 70s and the Nixon era and the war on drugs. And this was all about villainizing African Americans and the Mexican population. You know, and then that just spawns into prison for profit system. I mean, the whole cannabis prohibition turned into a money machine. So herein lies the ultimate problem.
Wow, this is crazy, man. So for a person that's so community driven, what drove you to open up 1910?
Well, I mean, you know, we live right up here in Fire Mountain area, and we've been here for 13 years now. And if you know anything about this Oceanside corridor spot, you know that there's 3 bars in the vicinity. You have the Red Rooster, you have Danny P's, or what was formerly Danny P's, and you have this establishment here, which before us was the Oceanside Sports Bar. Before that, it was P's and Q's. Before that, it was Stoney's. Before that, it was P's and L's. and I don't know what else before that.
Wow.
But quite frankly, they were all pretty much the same. They were a little dark. They were not necessarily inviting to people like Amber and myself, my wife. So we would end up either at one of the franchises, such as a Texas Roadhouse over on Vista, or down on Coast Highway and Bagby's. And unfortunately, it's a little more expensive down there. It's nice and all, but as we transitioned from the cannabis business, we thought that opening a place here and being a little more community oriented and allowing the community to shape it into something that it wants to come to and it wants to be with, and also something that's more accepting of everyone,
Right.
and making it all inclusionary, and that includes everybody, including the LGBTQ community. We want to make sure that everybody knows it's safe, that there's a safe environment for them, a relaxing environment, and everybody can just come and have a good time.
That's what it's all about, man. That's cool, man. So, as a person that is part of multiple committees, what do you think about the changes that have been going down in downtown Oceanside?
That's a little rough. Obviously, they're Manhattanizing a little bit. Everything's going up. Lots of hotels, lots of blocking the view that we have now.
Yeah, right.
Hello Betty's is about to feel that real soon. They're going to lose their view. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We really had no control over it, to an extent, of course. It's hard to fight progress like that. We need those tourist dollars. We need some place for them to come, some place for them to enjoy. It can be a tricky mix of appeasing the locals and not ruining that scenery and the view
Right.
that we were all used to enjoying, and lucky enough to be able to enjoy, and still bringing in those tourist dollars and catering to that market.
So that's probably like the main thing to do is being able to be touristy enough for the tourists and still the same enough for the locals. And that's where the
Exactly. Yes,
balance is.
it's a tough balancing act, and one that I'm not sure anybody has actually been successful at. But then again, I could very well be wrong, and that's kind of where we're at this point.
That's cool. All right, so back to the 1910 bar. So this place, as you mentioned earlier, it's been so many phases. What's your particular vision that you have for this place?
Again, taking this up a notch. It doesn't need to be a dark
Dive
bar. Not that that's a bad thing, quite frankly. I think dive bars are healthy in many communities, but we have those, and I agree with them, and I want to work with them, and I think we should all kind of work together as we're in this small area together. But yeah, we'll take this up a notch, and again, cater to a crowd that probably isn't necessarily catered to at the other place.
Right. That's cool, man. I'm glad you have like a pretty good vision of it. So from this here, what would you say is your favorite flavor of drink?
I'm a classic beer guy. I love my basics, my Mexican beers, so I don't sway too much into the IPAs and things to that effect. I've tasted them. They're fine. They're just not my taste. But we have a lot of people that are really into them, and they enjoy them. And quite frankly, they're aficionados, if you will, and I say more power to them, and I want to cater to them as much as possible and make sure that everybody has what they need. But when it comes to me, I keep things very simple. So I like my Mexican beers, I like my simple dishes, I'm good with French fries. We've got a taquito plate that I think is very good, and we're starting to outsource those to a company in Vista who makes fresh taquitos. So we want to bring those in and really, offer something a little higher standard than what you would normally get at a basic bar.
What drink or plate so far would you say you've gotten the most compliments for?
Surprisingly enough, our wings go over well. I will say that our wings are pretty good. They go over well. And we're getting a lot of great play on the Chipotle.
The raspberry
Chipotle, believe it or not.
Dude, those are really good.
Everybody keeps complimenting on those.
So
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, for the people out there, come 1910, they have a raspberry Chipotle flavor wing or sauce they put on the wings, and it's freaking amazing. I was like confused at first because I never thought about that mixture, raspberry Chipotle. It sounds so weird, but it works. It works in a weird way. So yeah, you should come try those, man. Definitely.
Yes, we do get a lot of compliments. So.
Yeah, it took me by surprise first time I had them. I wasn't sure what to expect, man.
Absolutely, but we're also working on specific chicken sandwiches. We just added the teriyaki pineapple chicken sandwich, which is we hope that is going to go very well.
Yeah, awesome. So be on the lookout for that spicy teriyaki pineapple sandwich.
Yes.
That's a mouthful. Just like the sandwiches. So yeah, man. So is there anything else you'd like to say to people watching?
Just come on down and support us. We really are looking for more community support and anybody that wants to have input and be involved and a part of making this something that is going to be here for years and years to come.
Thank you. Well, hey, man, thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate everything.
And that's it for this episode. I'll see you guys next week. Hey, guys, this is part 2 of the interview with Dave. Thank you guys for watching. So, yeah, Dave's going to talk about some of the stuff we got going on here in 1910 Bar. So, Dave?
All right. Well, we have karaoke starting this Friday with Christina, and that will be every Friday from now on from 8 to midnight. On the 21st, we will have a fundraiser here for Liz Warren. She's running for State Assembly, District 76. We invite everybody to come out. She's cannabis friendly, and we need her on the state level. On November 3rd, we have a couple of local bands playing basic rock and roll on our stage. We want everybody to come out, and that will start at 9 p.m. And then next month on November...
Yes, November 1st. We got together today, we talked, and we're going to be hosting an open mic every Thursday night from 8 to 11 till midnight if it gets busy enough. So yeah, you guys should definitely come check it out. All genres are welcome.
And we have actually Celeste Barbier will be singing on our stage on November 14th as well. So we invite everybody to come out for that. That will be called Celeste by Request.
Ah, that's nice. I like that. So yeah, that's it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. See you guys later. Have a good night.